Okay, so this is a review of the #1 damage Hildebrand game. I had this battle a few days ago, just playing with my dad, and never expected to get the #1 score in it. So this is just going to review what happened, how it happened, and I'm going to provide commentary on each strike and try to say, oh, this is a good one, this is a bad one, this is what you should do, this is what you should avoid. I'm just going to let the whole thing play out. I'm not going to scoop over anything. So if I remember right, we were talking about, A is like looking kind of weak, but, my dad points out that, hey, we have a tier 10 battleship, we have a sub over there, we've got the 2 cruisers. I don't know. I'm just trying to remember what happened exactly, but look, the point is that we made the choice to head over to the BC side, and we're just going to see what happens. At the start of these, it's funny, you're playing the Hildebrand, and I understand this is a massively hated ship. It's funny, people go out of their way to target you, and I just get the inherent feeling that whenever I'm lit, gotta turn away. And people are totally right, because this is a very mean ship, as you'll see in this game. My dad lays smoke for me, because, obviously getting deleted in the first few seconds would be pretty bad. So the first plane strike with the Hildebrand, you generally want to be going out and spotting and, providing information for your team. However, this game we actually have a carrier, and he just struck the Montana, who immediately put out a fire. So in this instance, I actually do change up a little bit, and I go directly for him. You'll see what happens here. The Kaga should not have dropped that fighter there. It's just bad to drop fighters on tactical squadrons like the Hildebrand has. Unless you're going to drop them ahead of the ship itself, there's no point, you're just wasting a consumable. And as you can see, that hit on the Montana, he is flooding. He has no way to put that out. By the way, I'm sorry if my audio quality isn't that great. I'm recording on a headset. I don't have an official mic or anything. So this one, I'm looking at it, and the Hildebrand planes don't have that great of hit points, so there's just too much AA over there with the carrier and the Montana. So I change it up and go after the Yamato here. One of the things about the Hildebrand aircraft is that you kind of have to decide whether or not to hit with your full squadron, or whether to go in, take some hits, probably lose that airplane, but get an assured 2 torpedo hits. So you'll see me either trying to just get the shot off, or taking the damage in order to get the assured double torpedo hit. These are pretty fast torps too. They're 55 knot aircraft torps, which is on the higher end of the spectrum. Here I think about going for the Yamato, but I'm looking at the minimap, trying to find opportune targets, and I see the Los Andes was last spotted just sitting there, so I try to go for him. Ultimately it turns out to be a bust because he uses that stupid rudder on that ship, it just turns towards the island and evades the torps. Another thing is that the third torpedo, the middle torpedo, drops further back, so you'll see me make the additional mistake of dropping too far back. Hits the island, I only get 2 torps off, and he's able to, well, that one armed too early, so no hits at all on him. here we go. The most hated, the reason why the Hildebrand is hated, freaking tactical bombers. These things are absolutely devastating. You have the heal on here. There's not much you can do when a Hildebrand player decides to go after you with these things. You can turn, especially if you're in a destroyer. Try to turn, try to play with your speed, do multiple turns just to try to throw off the target, because you do have to lead these things in. As you saw, devastating 16k hit on him and starts a fire. If you're in a battleship, the only thing you can really do is stay near other ships for AA, because you can shoot down those bombers. Each bomber you shoot down, you're not only lessening the damage, but you're also making it so it's harder for them to hit you in general, because you have to fly through flak and whatnot. Sadly, the Yamato was not able to do that here. On that one, I dropped a little too early. Those torpedoes barely armed, but as you can see, they still hit. So, at this point, I'm looking at the map. We just lost everybody over at the seaside. And I'm thinking, oh crap, now this cruiser is going to roll up on me, and I think I checked. Let's see. Yeah. I checked, and I saw the Monmouth has torpedoes. I didn't want him to roll up on me, so I tried to get into a position where I can at least hit him as he's trying to flank over on this side. Nobody else to stop him, so you gotta do something. But then, of course, I realized that I can't even catch him in open water because he's gonna come right for me, so I'm just gonna stay quiet for a little bit and you'll see how this plays out. So, initially, I wanted to take the ram there, because I knew he has the torps, and I was in a bad position. If he had taken the ram, I wouldn't be sitting here recording this video. But, he wanted to save his ass, and he paid for it. Now, you saw how close that came when I initiate the turn to try to get my guns back on him. Probably shouldn't have done that, should have watched a little bit better. Regardless though, he totally screwed up on that. Classic broadside shot on the Stalingrad here. Now you're looking at the map again and you're thinking, it's going pretty good. I mean, they do have a central position, but I'm capping C, we've got ships over at A, and we still hold the center. Aside from the incomparable just dying. Now, when you turn, if you're the carrier player, you want to drop the bombs into where they're turning, because when a ship turns, then it's the back end of their ship that's actually moving. So they kind of go forward and their back end swings to meet their front end. This one was kind of a bad drop. I should have gone for the wide angle. I thought I could set up some sort of cross drop with my dad, and it actually works out, but still, you want to prioritize always going for broadside drops with torpedo aircraft. And now, all of a sudden, the situation changes where we've got 2 cruisers coming down the center and a Montana coming towards us from the front. With this drop, I couldn't really do that much, but I still think it's better to get the aircraft off, get the hit off while you can, if you're given the opportunity, because now you're about to go into a brawl and you won't be able to launch aircraft at all. Now, this Montana player isn't exactly the best in the world. I think you can overmatch the front of the Chikuma with AP, but what he does do is my dad tries to turn to get the torpedo drop here, and Montana is too close. So even though he doesn't play it properly, he still neutralizes my dad. The problem here is that he gets target fixation, and I just roll right up on his side and just park AP directly into his broadside. He starts turning his guns, I speed back up, pop off with Luchins because it's too close to be missing with the secondaries. And then he is dead. Now, looking at the map again, this is where the aircraft spotting comes in helpful. We've got a Kronstadt coming in behind us. Pretty bad. That's a very mean cruiser. Now, this Cohorn, I didn't even know he was here, well, until a Hydro lit him up, but I thought I could go through the back and get some Citadel hits. I couldn't, but I checked the leaderboard again, and it tells you, oh, this guy doesn't have any torpedoes. So I then realize, oh, this guy can't do anything to me, aside from miss all of his bombers. And then, looking at the map again, now you know where the Kronstadt is, because he just started capping. You can totally tell that I am a brawler, because I turn right back around and go into it, even though I just used my last heal, I believe. Drop bombs. And that is a devastating skill with the German captain, Günther Luchins, I think is his name. On the torpedo planes, getting 30 hits reduces their reload by 6 seconds. Let's see if it tells me. Yes, it does. On the bombers, it reduces their reload by 25 seconds. That might even let you get 5 strikes off if you played the full game through. And I think I actually do. I forget. I see the bombers coming for me, and even though it's not necessarily a good turn, you still want to maneuver. Still end up eating the bombers there. And I think it's only here where I actually look at my damage, and holy crap, I got 300k. That's amazing. It was only after the game that I actually checked the leaderboards. This is a better example of a island drop, except I still dropped too early there. Dang. Well, I don't know if I could really say that because it was so close to the island. And as you can see with the loot gens, you're already reload down to a minute reload on the torpedo planes. A lot of people with the Hildebrand will save their AA specifically for the bombers, but honestly, we'll look at it in a second here, you find that the most damage you do with aircraft are with the torpedo planes. It's funny, we've got 3 squadrons of aircraft going at this Kaga. Alright, he's sitting still, not that hard, just drop. And I don't think the replay does it entirely accurately, because that drop, I was fully zeroed in. You see there's very little spread with those torpedoes. Now he starts moving, but it's too late, we already got our hits off. And I'm thinking, oh man, please give me a Kraken, that would make this game so amazing. I'm really hoping that our Golden Lion isn't in range. I know that thing has short range on its guns, but... And I'm going in and I realize, oh crap, I don't have a heal anymore. I already used all of them. I probably could have saved that heal on the Yamato, but regardless. 13.9, and that bumps you up to 340. And I actually had the blue boosters on from all the Christmas containers, but 340. And with the Hildebrand, it's a combination of things. Yes, I got a lot of torpedo hits. Yes, I got a lot of bomb hits. And I even got a funny amount of secondary hits on a cruiser. But you can't just sit back with the Hildebrand. You've got to be in there using your fast-firing 12-inch A-gear guns. I mean, we'll look at the report here, and yeah, 132k with aircraft, but also 116. And it's kind of funny, because 76 with fires and floodings, but 47 of that was off of that Montana. I don't mean to throw shade at you, but he did not utilize his repair parties correctly. With the battleships, you generally want to be alternating between using your heal to counteract a singular source of damage, be it fire or flooding, and then use repair party when it gets bad and you get 3 fires or 2 floodings or a flooding and a fire, that sort of thing. Obviously got a lot of damage on these guys. Let's look at the team score. And it's funny, I didn't even notice there was another Chikuma, but I think what he did, I was not paying attention to the mini-map. I think he went forward, and you can't do that with these ships. I know it's boring, but you saw me sit forward behind an island, but you have to do that. With these things, you get focused down if you don't. And my dad was up there. I had a really good game. And obviously all those achievements. And then there's the credits and XP thing. I probably don't want to look at that. But yeah, that's how you top score the entire planet in a Hildebrand, I guess.